welcome to CanadaBicycleParts.com's chain maintenance video. Today we're going to be looking at how to remove a chain and how to reinstall a new or used chain. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. The most important tool for the job is obviously the chain remover, and another tool that might come in handy is a chain wear indicator. A chain is made up of pins linking inner and outer plates together. As the chain is used, some wear develops on every single pin, giving it some play. This cumulative play over an entire chain length is what we often refer to as stretch, and you can measure that stretch using a chain wear indicator. In our case, the chain wear indicator does not properly fit inside the chain, so this is telling us that the chain is still in great condition and can still be used. However, if your chain wear indicator fits inside the chain on the 0.75% side, it's telling you your chain is 0.75% stretched. On the other hand, if your chain wear indicator fits on the 1.0% side, it's telling you your chain has a 1% stretch and it's definitely time for it to go. Chain stretch is the most common type of chain wear on road bikes, but you should always inspect your chain for twist or for damaged side plates as well. Now, it's the most economical thing to do to change your chain because it's your cheapest drivetrain component and it's also the one that takes the most wear. However, you should always take a second or two to inspect your cassette and your chain rings and look if it's also time to change those. The first step to removing a chain is looking for a master link, but right now we'll be assuming there's none, so your chain could either be a Shimano or Campi model, for example. These chains are installed using replacement pins, and all you have to do to remove them is push one of the original pins out. Just make sure you're not pushing out a pin that's previously been removed. So engage your chain remover and screw the handle in a few turns and stop when you think the pin is about 90% removed. If your chain was installed using a master link, chances are the master link is reusable, so you should look for a way to disengage the link. For example, the one I have in my hands, you can see that I can slide each half towards one another in order to disengage the lock. In the rare case that your master link is not reusable, just use the master link spin when removing the chain. So that's going to remove the chain and the master link at the same time. All chains come with extra length you're supposed to cut depending on the size of your cogs and chainring. There's really two ways to do this. The first way is simply aligning all the pins on your new and old chain and then cutting at the same number of links. The second method is the more technical way to do it. So what you need to do is place your front derailleur on the largest chainring and your rear derailleur on the second largest cog. As a result, this is the second longest distance the chain can travel. Grab both ends and pull them together until you have a stretched out S shape in your rear derailleur, and this is going to be equivalent to the proper chain length. Theoretically, if this technique is done properly, you should have just enough chain slack for your derailleurs to reach the largest chainring and the biggest cog in the back at the same time. You should also keep in mind that if you're going to be reinstalling your chain using a replacement pin, you're going to need an end to be an inner plate and another chain end to be an outer plate. However, if you're going to be reinstalling your chain using a master link, you're going to need both chain ends to be inner plates. In all cases, if you're reinstalling a Shimano chain, you'll want to be pushing your replacement pin on the left-hand side of an outer plate when looking at your bike from the drivetrain side. All Campagnolo replacement pins must be pushed in from the inside to the outside of the chain. You'll only need one of those if you're installing a brand new Campagnolo chain, whereas you'll need an HD link with 2 pins if you're reinstalling a used Campagnolo chain. All replacement pins are attached to a pilot end that allows you to guide the pin in the chain correctly. The pilot is usually the side with multiple side grooves and can be easily snapped off after the pin is properly installed. Feed your chain between the crankset and the frame, not on an actual chainring. This is going to give you some extra slack for reinstallation. Now that your chain is cut to the proper length and that you've fed it through your derailleur system, simply insert your replacement pin through both ends of the chain and push it back in using the chain remover tool until it protrudes on either side equally. You can snap the pilot off once the pin is properly centered. You might end up with a stiff link. To fix that, just place both thumbs on the pin and flex the chain both ways in order to loosen the link. Finally, place your chain back on the smallest chainring. This step officially concludes this tutorial video brought to you by CanadaBicycleParts.com. Please visit our website for written articles and more video tutorials.